So it's another early morning, and I'm coming out here to check on Amani to see if she's had the puppies yet. So should be interesting. I'm hoping she actually didn't have them because I have a surprise for her today. And as soon as I check on her to see if she's had any puppies, I will share that surprise with you. So let's take a look here. She still looks big and fat, huh? Yeah, alright. I don't hear any puppies, huh? Yeah, oh my goodness. Alright, let's go look. How are you, huh? Yeah, she's got a little bed in the hay and a couple spots, but I don't see any puppies. Not at all. So it's an early Christmas for Amani and her babies, and this is their present. So, just came in the mail yesterday. It's a Climate Right. It's actually an air conditioner, heater, climate control unit. So today I want to work on setting it up. I know that little calf hut, it's good for holding in the puppies, but it's really hard to control the temperatures. At night it gets too cold and I have to bring the puppies in the middle of the day it gets a little bit too hot and then I have to bring the puppies in. I'm always in and out with the puppies all the time, so I think the plan is to convert this little shed over here. I think this would be perfect. And so we're gonna have to move Chicote. So Chicote will be on the other side, and then I'll convert this to the new little puppy house. Yeah, little puppy house. So I'll definitely have to do some work. We'll have to figure out something to do with the door. And I'm thinking of just doing something, setting it up temporary just to see how it works. And we have this dog door that I actually blocked off here that Amani could use to get in and out. I actually have a little doggy door over here. I had a little flap on it and the dogs tore it off. You are so excited. And the other thing is, I was thinking I could probably put that unit in the back over here, and I'll figure out a way to dog proof it. And I'm thinking maybe running electricity up to the deck on an extension cord. But that should be an interesting project, and see if we can get this going. I'm also thinking of putting some lights in here too. It has these skylights up here, but it's almost not enough light. It'd be nice to get something up here for nighttime, just so they could see at night. So let's go back and unbox it and see what it looks like on the inside. So take a look at this. I just opened the top of the box and it looks like it's packed really well with extra cardboard on the corners and some insulation. So I'm not expecting any damage from what I'm seeing so far. So here's how it's packed. You know, the funny thing is I was looking at some reviews online, and there was actually some complaints about how poorly it was packed. And you know, I have to say, I think this is packed really well. Alright guys, so you know me, I want to hook it up and run it before I start. So I put the batteries in this remote, and right now I have it on auto mode at 75 degrees. I took a couple covers off the back, and it's putting out some warm air. It's not real hot yet. And then it has the intake there with a little, it's like a little mesh screen, which is nice. Ah, it looks like you can replace the screen from the side there. It definitely feels like it's about 75 degree air coming out of there. And it has different modes. Right now, I don't know if you can see that. I'm in auto mode. And you can switch it back and forth between cool mode, dry mode, which is basically a dehumidification, just the fan, a heat mode, and then an auto mode, which heats and cools. So, and when you switch through the modes, you get this little readout on the back that switches. So now it's dry, fan, heat, and auto mode. And then it has the input output on and off. I guess that's like more of a manual mode. So now it's running through the remote. So the sound's pretty good, I guess. It's not that loud. And then it has a I guess in auto mode, even if you turn off the power, you still have the fan running. And now it's getting cooler. It's pretty interesting. So now I just have to figure out how to hook it up to that tough shed and make it dog proof. So this is interesting. I cranked it as high as it'll go. Looks like the hottest you can have it is 88. I guess over that's uncomfortable. So 88 is the max temperature that I can put out. So I have to show you these these connectors. These are pretty cool. They actually totally come apart, and then you can bend them and they stay. I've never seen anything quite like it. It's almost like a kid's toy. You can really get a custom configuration with those. That's pretty neat. So these connectors are pretty interesting. It looks like these bigger tubes slide in here, and then it's like a twist lock with a little locking thing on there. And then on the other end, it looks like you have this that slides on the same way over here. The problem is I may have to cut that a little bit thinner, a little bit smaller, so the dogs don't chew it on the inside of the structure. So I just opened the instructions. I thought this was kind of interesting. It says during the auto mode, the unit operates at heating mode when the room temperature is below 68, operates at dehumidifying mode when it's between 68 and 80, and it operates at cooling mode when it's above 80. I thought that was kind of interesting. Okay, so one thing I need that I don't have to do the installation is a hole saw. I'm going to have to run to the hardware store to get a hole saw big enough for that to go in the structure. So I found this old pop-up dog kennel here in the barn. So, are you thinking what I'm thinking? I think I can instantly dog-proof this thing with a dog kennel. Alright, now we're making progress. So I'm starting the build out of the installation of the temperature control, whatever you call it, the heater chiller unit. And so this is kind of what I have to work with. And this is a tough shed. I actually built it back when I had the first puppies. I bought it and installed it out here, and these dogs are so destructive. You wouldn't even believe it. So the Chicote especially, he digs these big, huge holes back here. And look what he's done to these 2x4s. Actually, I had an 8-foot 2x4 out here when he was a puppy, and he tore it down to, I think he ate the whole thing. And then I feed him in these plastic buckets, and when he was young, he would chew the whole bucket all the way down to the ground. And I went through several buckets before he stopped chewing. And in that other pen over there, I had a big wooden doghouse, and they completely chewed that. So I found out this hard plastic, that calf hut, is one of the few things that they can't chew. And it looks like, hey, and it looks like, I don't know what's going on with him. And I guess it's because I'm talking, he doesn't know who I'm talking to. Yeah, you're a funny boy. You're a funny boy. So I moved him up there, he's probably anxious because he's not in his regular pen over here. So, yeah, so this actually has a plastic floor, and I'm removing all the straw. I had a bunch of straw in here, and it's kind of stinky underneath, so I think first thing I'm going to do is take all the straw out and then maybe sweep it out and then spray it down with some bleach water and let it soak a little bit. So I scored on this one. I was clearing away all the straw, and I found my old knife. I lost this a long time ago, and I thought for sure I dropped it in the cow area, but sure enough it was here. I actually bought another one to replace it to open up the bales of hay for the cow. Okay, so I ended up using my shop vac, scraping with the shovel, and it's looking a lot better. Got most of the stuff out. There's a little bit on the floor. The only problem now is it stinks kind of bad. So what I'm going to do from here is get my pump-up sprayer and spray it down with some bleach water. So I sprayed the floor with a gallon of pretty strong bleach water, and it already smells good. So I also noticed the walls are really dirty. I think I'm going to let this soak, move on to the next step, and then get in here with a garden hose and just spray the whole thing out. So kind of the next step I was thinking, so the way I was thinking of setting it up right back here, and it says to move 8 inches over and 8 inches up to put one of your vents right there. But I'm thinking on the inside, if it's that low and the puppies see it, they're going to chew it out. So I'm thinking of lifting it up just a little bit more and getting those vents a little bit higher up off the ground. So I have these old cinder blocks in the back side of the property. I thought they'd be perfect for lifting the whole thing up a little bit. And then I was thinking that bottom pan on the kennel, I think I could take it out and use it as a rain shield. Some people on the internet were saying that it's supposed to be waterproof and for outdoor use, but some people are saying they were having a problem with the control boards getting wet. So I figured it can't hurt. So I also dug up a few garden pavers that I'm going to sit the unit on. And I left the door in the back so it's a little bit easier access. I think the pavers give it a little more stability so the dogs can't quite push it over. I think next I'm going to try to spray out the inside with the hose here. So that cleaned up real nice. And I found out that it retains water. And it all leans to one side, so, and then it's getting so good that I want to take my shoes off to come because I'm getting it dirty as I walk in and out. But I think what I'm going to do is empty the shop vac and use that to clean out the water. So that actually came out really nice. I found what works the best is to hold the shop vac in one hand and hold the hose in the other hand. And it works really well. Kind of like the dentist. Like a spray and suck. So while that's drying, I guess we'll move on to another project. So I thought this hole saw from Ace Hardware was interesting. It comes with a separate bit just for the saw, and it has little bevels. I don't know if you can see that on the side of the drill bit. It goes in the hole, if I can get it in there one-handed. And then there's a set screw with an Allen wrench. So that's interesting. So honestly, I feel like I'm racing the clock here. The sun's about to go down here in about an hour, and this thing's got a ways to go. I don't think I'm going to get it finished tonight. And I'm not sure exactly when Amani's going to have her babies, so we'll see how all that goes. Okay, so I'm using this cordless drill with the hole saw, and they say to put the holes as far apart as possible. So I'm thinking down in the right for the intake and up left for the exhaust. And I've read reviews online that if you put them too close together and the intake brings in the exhaust, the unit has an error code, which I found was interesting. So I just kind of crawled inside the contraption here, and I'm just going to drill right here. Oh, see how well this goes. Oh. I think that's through. Maybe, maybe not. There it is. So here's the coupler that came with the unit, and it slips right in. My hole saw is just a little bit too big, but it should be fine. And it actually came with some screws, so I'm going to go ahead and attach that. So I have that attached, and I'll show you what it looks like on the inside here. So it sticks out a little bit on the inside, and I thought about cutting it off, and I decided instead to go with this cover. It's like for a dryer vent, and it's a pest cover. I thought it would work good because, you know, it's only attached by those 3 screws. So I thought if a dog pushed against this, like if Amani got crazy and pushed that, she might break those screws out. But this, I guess you can put the solid side up or down. I guess it doesn't matter. But either way, it might be better down to keep some of the debris out from underneath. But she can push against that, and it's not going to push directly on the tube, so I think it'll be a safer option. Alright, so I have that one installed, and it feels really solid. So hopefully the dogs won't chew it up. So I have this all lined up again. I have to tell you, with those pavers in there, it's really stable. I don't think a dog is going to push it over just with the pavers in it. So the next one, I want to crawl in and put it in the upper left for the exhaust. Alright, both of them are installed, and that's what it looks like. And then over here, got both of these set up too. So now I just need to figure out how to get the unit in there and get it lined up and hooked up. Okay, I got it in. And then there's these 2 covers that you have to remove. Oh, those are really hard to take off. This is the intake down here, and this is exhaust up here. So when I was sliding this whole cage up against the structure here, I almost messed up. The cage actually, this kennel, it actually caught on one of those little lips and almost broke it off. I don't know if they would actually, if it would actually work if one of those clips was gone. But these are the tubes that I'm going to hook up. I'm going to crawl in there and hook them up. Okay, that was kind of like playing the game Twister. Getting in there and hooking it up, but that's pretty much the final setup there. And then, oh yeah, I wanted to put this on top here. Whew. Could use to be washed off. I might just set it on top for now. Okay, so that's the final setup. That actually looks a lot more finished with the top on it. So what I'm going to do next is I want to drill some holes, maybe one at each corner, and then I'm going to take some parachute cord and tie it together. And then I was thinking here I could do the same thing make a couple holes here and here on each side, and then tie it with the parachute cord. I thought about attaching it permanently with something, but I know the filter in here needs maintenance, and I think it'd be easier just to cut the cord and pull it out and then retie it than to mess with some hardware. So here's my parachute cord, or paracord as they call it. I bought this spool years ago. I can't believe how useful it's been, and I still have some left. So now I just need to figure out which drill size will that fit through. Okay, so I drilled holes and just did a couple square knots just to keep the top on keep the wind from blowing it off. And now I'm going to work on the holes on the side to attach it to the structure. Okay, so I was having problems getting the string through 2 layers of the building. So I took a little baling wire and just kind of folded it over, and I'm going to pull it through. I'm trying to pull it through. Okay, so on this side, I just put one connector down here. And that's just, you know, if the dogs get real aggressive and try to really get at it, I just want to kind of attach. I don't think that they're going to go anywhere, so it's a little wobbly, but it's overall, I think it's really stable. So if you're wondering what size drill bit I use, it's actually size A. And I didn't even know there was a size A until I bought that huge drill bit set, and it had standard, metric, and letters. So I'm running some power to it, and basically I just took it on a little extension cord and ran it up. This is coming from the house. And then on the inside, I'll show you what I did so far. So I have this little light for the chickens. I used to use heat lamps, and I just put a little 25 watt LED bulb. I figured it was enough so at night Amani could see the puppies, and I can really feel some nice warm air coming out. So next I'm going to kind of just tie these up to this little beam up here just temporarily so you can run it to the house. I just want to get the cords away from the dogs for the time being. So check this out. I went to Home Depot. I was looking through their carpet remnants, and they had this one that was discontinued. It was the last one, and they actually deleted the SKU on it and decided to give it to me for free. So it's a light color. It might get pretty dirty pretty fast, but it's a 6x12, so I should be able to get 2 pieces out of it, and that should fit in there pretty good. So check this out. On the back of the carpet, it says pet. Looks like I got the right kind of carpet. Looks like a really tight plush. So it cuts pretty easy with just my pocket knife, which is good. And I found out it's not quite 6 feet, and my floor is 6'8" by 6'8", and it's not quite square, but for a doghouse it'll work. Okay, so it doesn't quite fit, but I think if I throw a bunch of blankets in there, it'll be fine. Okay, so I have the other piece in here, and I was actually going to cut a piece of plywood for this door. We're running out of light, and I want to get the dog in here. So I'm thinking a few screws, and I can hang that carpet. So take a look at this. So this is the main doggy door here. Ugh, if I can get it open. There it is. So this swings open, and this will be the main entrance here. And ooh, I need to clean that up. Anyway, so this door, I was thinking, for now, for a quick fix, I can just put it over this little, it's got a little hole there, so I can just put it over there and put a couple screws in there. Alright, this carpet gets really dirty really fast, even just barely stepping on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this carpet up as a barrier on this door, and then I'll have to crawl in and out of that little hatch there. But before I do, I think I'm going to put a bunch of blankets in here, and then maybe clean up the little doggy door so it's not so bad to crawl through. Alright guys, so this is ridiculous. This actually works really well. I had to take my shoes off because I didn't want to track mud into the dog kingdom. So there's one little spot right here, and I'm thinking maybe just for tonight I can run some duct tape on that. Really, if you had a board, you could put it on there, but this blanket is going to be just temporary for now. I put screws along the side just to kind of attach it to the sides. And then the bottom, it actually goes all the way to the bottom, but it's not really attached on the bottom. But there's really warm air coming out of here. It's pretty amazing. Actually got the remote out and I set it to 80 degrees, so it's actually quite comfortable in here. Outside it's got a little chill. So right now the only way out for me is here, and I actually put a little blanket out. So, and it actually, this door actually has, it's a double door, so it should hold the heat in pretty good, and it's magnetic on the bottom. So I kind of separated all the blankets and put them around. I think I'd rather be cleaning blankets than trying to clean that carpet. And I brought out the little bed for the dog. I don't know if she'll sleep in it. The other thing I noticed is I think this light might be too bright for her at night. So I was thinking I could just kind of, I mean, you really can't see that on camera, but that's about the perfect amount of light for like a night light. If you just kind of point it up at the ceiling. So it is definitely getting dark. We just barely beat the sun. Haven't fed the dogs yet. But, oh, I gotta pull that extension cord tight. Oh, I gotta clean up all my mess too. Get all the stuff out of here before I move the dogs. But if we take a look inside, oh, it is toasty in here. Oh, definitely a lot warmer than outside. Oh, yeah. Alright, so I finished putting duct tape all around the seams, and I had to put 3 strips actually. I don't know if you can see that, it's pretty dark. But, yeah, with the light. So, oh, there's a fly in here. Huh. Guess I trapped them in. Then I had to put duct tape around the edges and a little bit around this door. And, wow, this thing is a mansion. I was going to turn the heat down a little bit. 80 degrees, I think that's a little hot. Maybe I'll do 75. And when you climb into the doghouse, make sure you take your shoes off. So I guess the next thing is I'll bring the dog in and see how she likes it. Whatever you do, don't lose the remote. So I just noticed that when I changed the temperature right there, it didn't actually register, and I didn't hear a beep. So I actually brought it up and got real close, and it beeped. So apparently it has a little readout here, and it looks like that's the current temperature, not the set temperature. But you can see the set temperature when you have the remote and you're changing it. Alright, so it's really getting really dark, and I have this thing all hooked up. Got the extension cord just tied up temporarily. Got this thing running, set at 75. Got everything cleared out of here. Now I'm going to see if I can swap these dogs real quick. Alright, so that's kind of a new sound for her. She's kind of checking it out. Yeah, what is that? What is that? What is that? Oh boy. What is that? Yeah. She can't get to it, which is good. She's not too freaked out about it. Yeah. Alright, come on. Yeah. Oh boy, she went right in. Oh boy. Oh boy. Let me get in. I think it's a hit with her. I think she approves. What do you think of that, girl? Hey. Yeah, now when I'm in the doghouse, it's not so bad, huh? Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's not so bad. It's not so bad. Actually, now that I'm sitting here, I can feel a little draft into this door. I might roll up one of those blankets and look at you. Oh, you're so she went right out. She got so excited she made me turn my camera off. Nah, she's coming back in. Oh boy. Yeah, I heard that. I heard that once you set up these climate controlled dog houses. Yeah, what is that? That the dogs never want to come out. And they're always in the doghouse. So I think she's gonna love it. Oh yeah. Oh, you're so excited. You're so excited. Oh my goodness, what are you doing? Alright guys, so that was the Christmas present for my dog, and she loves it. And now she's gonna have babies in here at 75 degrees. I think as soon as they're born I might turn it up just a little bit. They say you can turn it up to 80 when they're first born, but this is perfect. I don't have to worry about being too hot or being too cold or any of that. And this is this is perfect for my poochie. Alright, thanks for watching. Oh yeah, one more thing. Now that we're done, don't tell my wife what I did to her dog kennel.